Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are. It is my absolute pleasure, delight, an honor and privilege to be hosting this webinar for IBM Ignite Test Automation with HeadSpin. And I'm absolutely delighted to welcome our partners and friends from IBM, Sean Beesting and Sayom Ghosh. They, along with Shruti Pandey from HeadSpin, we will do a demo of the capabilities and how you can, through the combined power of IBM's Ignite Test Automation Platform and quality services and HeadSpin's capabilities, conduct testing in a far more automated, efficient manner so that you can help build the perfect digital user experiences. So with that, let me warmly welcome Sean. Sean, if you'd like to say a few words before we get into the demo.
Sure, Gaurav. So firstly, thank you for the invitation to attend, and obviously to Shruti and Sayom, obviously our technical SMEs for the session. It's great to see so many people on board. Just in terms of introduction, as Gaurav said, I'm Sean Beesting. I lead IBM's quality engineering practice globally, and it's a real pleasure to be here. Gaurav and I have been working on the partnership now for, I think, probably close to a year, Gaurav.
Indeed.
And to actually now see this session come to fruition is a real pleasure. So a little bit in terms of around Ignite and the Ignite platform. I won't steal anything from Sayom. I don't want to take anything away from him. But the platform. Sorry?
I'm sharing my screen. I hope you can see it.
I can. But the platform has been in development for a number of years. And it focuses on a number of areas that Sayom will touch upon. But in essence, put very simply, it's around optimization. So how do you maximize your test coverage for the minimum amount of test cases? How do you take out duplication? How do you drive efficiency? And then how do you move that into automation, into seamless automation? And out of that, how can you then analyze, predict, and prevent future defects from occurring? And through the partnership with HeadSpin, obviously what we're looking to do is integrate their mobile test capabilities, which for us, from an IBM perspective, is market leading. And integrating that into our platform really strengthens both our capability, but also the relationship and what we can then offer to our clients. And so the intention is that we will provide you with a live demonstration. Hopefully there will be no gremlins in the system and everything will run smoothly, but we do have a backup plan. Obviously, within the partnership, we are driving, joint go-to-market, joint points of view, and this is the first, hopefully, of many sessions that we will run with HeadSpin. So, without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Sayom. Hopefully, you all enjoy the session. I believe, Sayom, we're going to take Q&A at the end, so we'll leave plenty of time for everybody to get their questions in. And of course, if they do want to post any in the chat as we progress, then we can try and either respond to some of those as we're going, and if not, we'll save them for the end. Sayom, all yours.
Yep. Thanks, Sean. Okay, so hi all. So myself, Sayom, and I've been working as an senior test or architect and consultant for IBM, and having close to 17 years of experience, out of which almost 11 years with IBM. So this is the agenda that we would be going through. So I would also like to introduce Shruti, my colleague from HeadSpin side. So Shruti.
Thanks, Sayom. Hi all, good to meet you. This is Shruti Pandey. I have a decade worth of experience into automation and testing. For the past 2 years, I've been into a solutions engineering or a sales engineering space. So this is a great opportunity that I represent HeadSpin at such a grand scale, and it's really our honor to be here. Hoping forward to a great demo that we have created for you. And if there's any questions, please feel to drop into the Q&A section that you see in the chat. Thank you. So, Sayom, should we just dive into this, the
Yes,
session that we have been waiting for?
correct.
Let's
So,
do it.
yeah, so
So,
we from IBM, we are having end-to-end one-stop testing solution, which we call the Ignite Quality Platform, in short, IQP. And what you see in the screen is a snapshot of all the different capabilities that our platform supports. It starts from the test optimization, the test generation, the test data management, test automation, and we have the cognitive defect analysis, and followed by the AI ML testing. So this is an ever growing enhancing platform. So today, for this presentation, we are going to talk about test automation solution that we have, and how can we connect to the HeadSpin device and run our automation scripts using a web portal on a mobile device, which is located at the HeadSpin data center. And then Shruti will take you through the different very appealing capabilities from HeadSpin on the performance data analytics side of things. Okay.
So before we get into more of this, Sayom, what you really talked about was the IBM Ignite platform, right? This is
Yeah.
how it looks and this is how it's done. I also know for a matter of fact there's something called as OTFA. Would you like to explain what OTFA really is to the world?
Yes. So we, as I mentioned, Shruti, we have the different components in this whole Ignite solution that you are seeing in my screen, and out of which our test automation component, we call it OTFA, which stands for Optimized Test Flow Automation. And what that is so this is where we use test-driven development approach, wherein it's a scriptless automation solution, wherein it supports currently we have we are supporting Jerkin driven keywords scripting, which starts, as you know, like it starts with the English plain syntax with given, when, and these are the different keywords with which we create the different automation scripts, which we call the feature files. And I'll quickly show one such feature file, which we would be using it for this demo purpose. So all in all, our automation platform is called this OTFA, Shruti, and along with that, I mentioned that this is a scriptless solution, but it also has the ability to to perform custom coding and integrate with our scriptless solution. So currently, we offer support with languages such as Java and Python, wherein you can write your custom scripts, and then we can integrate that with our scriptless solution.
So,
So
Sayom, if I understand this correct, you have Java and Python as the current languages, and this is basically a Selenium Appium supported platform, right? But it's a
correct.
TDD Gherkin thing that IBM has created its own product on. And when you say scriptless, does it mean the fancy terms that we hear like no code or low code? And what exactly are your components then?
Yes, yes, exactly. You are absolutely right, Shruti. So let's maybe I can show you one of the feature files which I'll be using it for this demo. So if you see here in this, this is a automation script basically. As you see, it's all plain English language. Very best. The syntax is easily representable and easily understandable. It doesn't require any programming knowledge, so somebody who doesn't have any programming background can easily pick up this solution and create an automation script, as you can see. So what I mean, what you see in this 5-step automation journey, the one which I'm highlighting here, it says that you navigate to an URL, the URL which is I am parameterizing it, and then you click on the on a specific button which is present in the URL, and then you type something, the value as baseball. You do a search on this, and then go to the search page. So all you can see, Shruti, is it offers an absolute scriptless, no code solution, wherein with a matter of few seconds, a quick turnaround time, you can create your automation scripts, and off you go, ready for automation execution.
Absolutely. So this is, if I see this, and I think we've worked on this in past, I see HS webinar as a tag. So this is really one of your integrations that you've done with HeadSpin, right? When you were
Correct.
explaining component, you were explaining the cooking stuff. This really is an actual script, an actual flow that you have integrated with HeadSpin. Can you maybe emphasize, or can you highlight how you've like gone about doing this, maybe?
Yes. So for that, I would have to go into the start test, which basically will trigger the automation run. So I click on this. So we are on the launching pad of this test automation execution, wherein, as you correctly said, I have already pre-configured the headspin device in our Ignite IQP solution, so that at runtime we can select that device and we can start to execute it. Now, before I do this execution, Shruti, would you spend some time explaining the headspin platform, so that the audience knows about this headspin, and then I can quickly jump onto the execution.
Wow. Okay, you're too kind. So this is exactly what Headspin looks like. It's not just a platform or an application where you get real devices like a mobile device, Android, iOS, or desktop combinations. But like you're seeing, this is one of the accounts that Sayom and his team at IBM has with us, which is in different geographic locations. We have it for different devices. We even have an Amazon Fire Stick, Apple Safari STC. So these are like real requirements that IBM comes up with us, and we try to help them with as much as testing needs as possible. And you can basically use these devices not just for your manual testing, you can use them for your automated testing, and get a lot more results. So this is what exactly Headspin is, and we'll see a little bit maybe furthermore, but maybe let's go to IBM again, Sayo.
Yes. So just I would like to just show one such device for the benefit of the audience, like how does that device looks like, and of course we would trigger that through the same device through automation. So if you see here, it's very simple. You just need to click on that start icon, and it will launch the device here. If you see, this is the iPhone 8 Plus, which I'm triggering. So I'll just make this as a full screen. So if you see here, on the right hand side, that all the device details which are being displayed, so that you know as an user where the device located in, and all the devices hardware and the software details comes in here. And on the left hand side, you see this the actual device screen image, which you can just do whatever you want depending upon your testing capabilities. So it's
Sayo
as
doesn't even need me, right? Go ahead. Go ahead. You make
yeah.
my job easier. Go ahead.
All right. All right. So what I would do is, now that I've from our IBM OTFA automation platform, I have done all the settings. It's time to execute the automation script. So this
Absolutely.
script, what it would do is, it would launch a newspaper portal, and it will perform the search operation on it and go into that page, and then it will take the final screenshot. So that's the automation scenario which we have created for this demo. So with this, I click on the start icon and start test. So if you see on the right hand side, the script has started. And then here, if you see on the device, it has started to execute uh, the device run. Okay. So what I would do is, as this execution is happening, I would constantly switch between HeadSpin platform and our Ignite IBM platform, so that I can show you both how these things are being set up. So if you see here, the run has already started. Now, if I go here on our OTAP platform, so if you see, this is where we have a progress bar of the execution run that is happening, and how much percentage it has covered. So as an end user, we would be knowing how much the progression is taking place. Like if you see here, it has increased to 40%. Now it's the time to go into the device headspin side. So if you see here, the mobile application, it has opened, and then it is actually performing the capabilities in terms of searching the the specific text which I have given in my automation, which is baseball. If you see, I just make, maybe for the benefit of the audience, I just make this the full screen. So if you can see the full end run which is happening. Okay, so now I just switch back to this thing, to my Ignite platform, and if you see here, the run has completed the 100% execution. It is showing, and if you see, this is a past. So now if I go to headspin, obviously, since the run has completed, headspin has automatically released the device for the next year user to use it. Okay, so it has released the cloud device back to the cloud, if you see
Quick
it.
question, because you are not just IBM but also a headspin expert now, Sayom. If I wanted to use two devices, three devices, or whatever number of devices of headspin simultaneously, can I do that? Have you and your team really tried that option also?
So, so far in our integration, this feature is something which we are working on, and as a next step, we should be in a position to trigger multiple headspin devices together from a single automation run.
Now
Okay.
that's some great feature to look forward to.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay. So now, as I promised, I would be covering the reporting part, as with any tool or platform that you guys have worked on. So similarly, this solution does have this automation reporting capability, wherein we can download this test report in any of the format what you are seeing here. So for this demo, I would download this in the PDF format, just to showcase this run, which has just recently completed, and we'll take some time to explore the reporting, how it has happened. Okay, so this is the PDF. So if you see here in this test report summary, it actually shows all the details of the run that has gone through, like the application name, the feature file name, at
Hmm.
what time it got executed, what is the mode, like this. Every in-depth details of the automation run which has taken place has
I like the fact that you've also mentioned the browser that you use. So you basically started a session on a iOS and going on Safari.
yeah.
I really like the fact that every detail is really mentioned here.
Yes. So once we have captured all the details, then comes the actual testing scenario part, wherein it says, like this scenario, there were 5 steps and 5 of them passed. Of course, there are other scenarios, other situations like failures, ignorance, and skip. So all those will be coming in this scenario summary. Then we go into the details of it. So if you see, like this step has got this automation script has got the 5 steps, and each of the steps, what it is being mentioned here, the duration, I mean the time it has taken, and if there was any wait time that was involved, followed by the status, and if there is any defect associated with it, that those are being documented in this report. So this becomes a kind of a test artifact Shruti, when it from a deliverable point of view. And in the final step, if you see here, what I have done is I have taken a snapshot of the application at that point of time. Hence, this is a hyperlink. So once you click here, it actually takes me through this screenshot image. So that's the last screen situation when it actually searched baseball in that filter
Hmm.
option. So this was the last page that got displayed, and then this automation solution OTFA, it took the snapshot of it. Okay, so this is how the report is what we have uh, gone through. Next up, as
And
a
I understand this is really important, being a tester myself in my past life, because you need the proofs, right? You need the document, like you rightly said. And it comes in handy if you have things to substantiate it with. Makes sense.
Okay, so the next part is where we would cover up the performance analytical part of HeadSpin. So this run, which I just now completed, this is available under the performance session area. So if just let this gets opened. So this is the last. I mean, the top one is where this run happened, and there are different aspects of this, which Shruti is going to cover. So Shruti, over to you.
Sure. I'll just start sharing my screen. And Sayong, you be my tester. Let me know if you can see this.
Yes, I can.
Amazing. So this is what I'm just relaying from Sayom. We have become like a Olympics team, right? We are just carrying the torch from one person to another. Whatever Sayom demonstrated to you until now, the test session that we ran, which was about 7 minutes back, is really here. And what you see is basically the stuff that we have been talking about, right? So I'll just maybe minimize this because I want people to see the screen. And this is really the heart and soul of HeadSpin platform, not just providing devices, not just helping you enable with the testing and the development aspects of a mobile web app or a web app or a mobile web browser version of it, but really this is the heart. So without much ado, I'll just click on this report that got generated for Sayom. So Sayom, can you help me understand? This is the thing that we generated for you, right? And you have been seeing this report for a while now, correct?
Yes, exactly.
So the session that we ran just now comes in this shape and form at Headspin. So on the right hand side, you see a amazing video log that gets recorded for you from start to end to whatever test was performed. The minutest details with respect to which country, which device did I take and choose and ran the test on, to the aspects of literally downloading the har files or mar files or packet capture data, device logs, all of them are accessible to you at your fingertips. And Sayom, correct me if I'm wrong. While you guys were building these applications, do you think these statistics or insights or highlights really come in handy while creating one as a developer, as a tester, whatever your role be?
Yes, Shruti, absolutely. It does. This kind of statistics actually helps the team to get a full-fledged view of what and how the automation, I mean, the health of the device, and at that point of time. So, yeah, it does. Absolutely.
Sure, sure. Happy to know that. And then you also see a very big chunk in the middle of the page, which basically is about a lot of matrix. So whatever matrix with respect to the traffic or the host or um the API calls that the app has been making throughout the session is basically available here at your fingertips again. So with respect to how much time did it take to receive or wait or encrypt with respect to whichever host or whichever URLs or domains that I would want to understand with respect to my app development or app testing is very well accessible to me here. And again, you can dig it into different granular forms, right? So once you get this data for session, you can also go about checking the granularity with respect to which domain did I really hit and what was the connection usage or stats here, to the level that you also go about checking for which host was this happening, and the burst or the data traffic basically. So these are a couple of additional features which you can make use of on top of the IBM Ignite and OTFA platforms that we just saw. So you get the different logs, you get the different matrix, and you get the different downloadables. Anything, Sayom, that you think I've missed on this upper section? You know, I'm going to scroll down a little.
No, absolutely. You have covered everything. Thanks.
Thank you. So moving down. So while this was not enough, I think at Headspin, we just try to keep pushing the bar as much as we can. And if you see, that was not the end of the world. We have some things more. So this entire session that ran for me, if you see, I'm just scrolling through the entire graph of it, and I can see on the right hand side of the video as well, right, as to how it was traversing or transitioning. So it's not any magic, right? I'm just transitioning through the session that happened. What really is the magic is basically the impact time or the page content or the concurrency or the HTTP throughput or network bytes and packets. So I understand in my days when I used to automate, and there are developers who really get to the nitty gritty of stuff, and these uh, little things, maybe it may look like little things to a layman, but they really matter, right? While you want to build a robust application for your end user or for your end client. So right from the minutest details about the CPU to the battery drainage to everything actually is basically available on the graph. I'm sorry, somehow I managed to just hit the back button. So if you see, all of the detail are very well laid out in a graphical format to extract data. And if you scroll down further, you can basically go about clicking on a particular host or a particular domain, and maybe a particular call that the app was basically making throughout this interaction, and drill down further as to what was really happening with respect to the TCP level or the get, post, or put, whatever action that was really happening at the API level or the connection level can be very easily figured out from these data. And I mean, what is the use of so much data if I can't really make the most out of it, right? We also provide something called as the AI ML analytics, which is again the soul of our platform. Sayom, again, quick check with you. Did I miss anything as of now? And what are your thoughts about the AI ML that we are seeing? Did you have to train it from your day one of your testing, or how was your experience with this entire lot that I've been talking about?
So AIML, as you know, like this is one of the key backbone of any solutions nowadays, test solutions. Okay, so a
Uh-huh.
solution which doesn't have the AI component, uh, it's just not done. So the fact that it's been has this unique and beautiful capability, which very easily shows like what you are showing now. These different components is a very easy way for the users and the stakeholders to get a clarity of how the things are happening, and where the pain point is, right? So that's how, and that's easy it has been with my interactions or my experiences with this AIML component which you are showing, which currently has been had. So I totally agree with you on this aspect.
And just while you were mentioning, suddenly it came to my mind at runtime. I'm sorry, I'm somehow good at runtime, I guess. I mean, when you get something like a low code or a no code paired up with something having a heart and soul in AI ML, I mean, this has got to be something great, Sion. Can we make the best out of it?
Of
What do you
course,
think?
of course, and as I told you, right? So we are doing some further future integrations with our IBM automation platform with HeadSpin. So these are some of the user stories which the team is doing on how to explore, how to leverage more and more all these beautiful capabilities that HeadSpin has currently into our Ignite platform. So yeah.
Makes sense, makes sense. So I'll quickly cover the last part that I have. Since I have your blessings, I've covered everything. Thank you for being, again, not just a IBM, but also a Headspin partner in crime with me on this. So moving on to the left section that we have left. So like we were talking about the AIML stuff, right? A lot of this is really intelligence that you see coming on the report, and it's really pre-trained. You don't have to go about training your application or training Headspin per se to get these things. And what you see on the left hand side is like subtle suggestions or recommendations from Headspin, letting you know that these are a couple of things, if fixed, would make your app maybe perfect. Again, as tech people, we are never satisfied, right? We want the perfect thing, we want the best thing to go. So if you see in the session that was run during this demo, there is a list of things that we have deduced in this particular session run of the web application on the Headspin real device. So right from domain sharding to battery powered usage, or TLS slowness or slow download speed, HTTP redirects. I'm just reading this out, I'm just scrolling what you're seeing, really. So everything right from what we saw, slow download to unencrypted traffic to TLS exceptions or log exceptions, it's basically captured on this particular session that we just ran. Again, I think a lot of this data would make sense if we put into use. You get a lot of advice, you get a lot of what can I do, what is this really happening, and how I can help. You also get basically input or an analysis of when this happened, uh, for which particular URL this happened, and you can also go about checking it on the graph, which is the best part, right? So it basically very readily gets highlighted on the graph that was created for me, and I can just go about understanding as to where this happened and to which particular URL this happened for me. So I'll quickly choose an easier one to explain, maybe being conscious of time. So something like a duplicate messages, right? Why would you want your application making duplicate copies or duplicate downloads, or maybe just accessing multiple resources like multiple times, right? That's the whole essence of duplicate messages. And again, if you go about seeing as to where this happened, how many times this happened, what was the impact time, it can be seen via the tabular format that I just clicked, the CSV, or you can also go about checking in the graph itself, right? Because it gives you really the crux of it, or the RCA of it, with respect to every angle, with respect to every matrix, as to where this happened, how long this happened, and why was this really happening. And if at all this looks like something that you would want to get rid of, you really know exactly at which places to look for and remove them, or maybe just uncomplicate them. So your thoughts, questions, what do you think about this? Or do you think I just missed something while explaining this?
No, no, you covered all, and this is I keep on saying, like, no, this is one of the most striking features that HeadSpin has currently, and we are really, while we did this evaluation, this feature attracted us, all the team. I mean, the team which did this evaluation a lot, and we are really pleased that HeadSpin brings this into the table, and this is one of the most demanding feature, I would say, from the HeadSpin's tooling point of view.
Absolutely. If I would like to add a personal note, I think these are the features and these are the stuff that we really see or want to do or talk about, which even made me fall in love with the product, right? Like, why would you want to use partnerships like this, or products like this, or platforms like this, right? I mean, I'm sure that there will be by now a list of questions about these stuff. And I think the precise reason why no code, low code is so hit in the market, and what we do with a Headspin, or what we do with the OTFA, I think Sayom and I have just tried to highlight in this given amount of time all the striking features that we have, and we could in a short time to all of you guys. Sayom, any more things we would like to brush up before we just open the Q&A section, maybe?
No, I think that was all we wanted to show to the audience, just to uh, to wind up, like how easy it is from our IBM platform to integrate with the HeadSpin device, run the automation script as you saw today, and then explore the different striking capabilities, features that HeadSpin brings into the table. So, yep, that was pretty much it.
So I'll just stop sharing my screen so that I can get up the questions that we have in the chat. And maybe, Sayom, can you help us with the detail as to where people can get in touch with IBM and HeadSpin if they want to get in touch? So if you can have that slider up, and I can just go to the Q&A and the chat.
Yes,
I'm assuming and hoping that everything is in the Q&A.
I would love to do that. So I will do that. So in the meantime, as you were explaining, I was answering to all the questions that different participants have put up. It's just that for you, I have just kept one question. So it's what are the tools that has been integrated? If you can just respond to Sean.
Aren't you my automated bot or something? Like what is happening here? Did we create a parallel execution here? This is awesome. This is awesome, man. You have tried to actually cover most of the questions, and while Sayom is trying to bring the slider up, let
Yeah.
me
So I
quickly
have
see.
brought. You can see.
Thank you so much, Sayom. So, beautiful people who have taken your time to come and join us this lovely evening, morning. We really appreciate it. You can reach out to us here. And I'm just scrolling through the questions that we have. Sayom, can you quickly help me with the question that is not answered? I see most of them answered. Which is the
I
question which is
I I have answered all. It's just that one question,
Oh,
wherein
okay, I got it. It's from Shonda. Yeah, I did get it. What all tools does Headspin integrate with? So, thanks for the lovely question, Shonda. We don't really restrict you to any particular tool or framework or languages per se with respect to Headspin. So, if today you realize you want to integrate Headspin as a platform with a Java or a Python or a Ruby or a Cucumber, we really don't. I mean, restrict you on anything like languages or frameworks. We are actually a very platform agnostic product, and you can basically go about integrating with a lot of tools. And tools is a very broad term, so you can go about integrating us at many levels. So right from Appium desktop to your automation scripts, or to your Android Studio if you're a developer, or your Jenkins CI/CD, so, or defect management for that matter. So yes, there is integration possible at many levels. I hope I answered that question.
Shruti, Sean, there's another question that's in the chat which is asking, is it
Mhm.
getting health information? Is Headspin getting health information about just the mobile app, or is it tracking the way the user uses the app? And somebody's just
That's an interesting question. And thanks, Sean. Thanks for having my back. Yes, absolutely. When you're getting the health information, or when you're getting the stats with respect to the application, it's as to so if you were in the call since the beginning, you would have seen Sayom started a test session, right? Where he had a user journey from launching the application to searching a couple of things, then searching for a keyword as baseball. So whatever you have been doing on the phone with your application is being tracked and monitored and being given information about via the Headspin platform. It's not just recording a fancy video for you and giving as a evidence, or maybe just giving you logs, but also the insights.
correct me if I'm wrong as well, Shruti, but isn't this also giving you information over the mobile networks? So if you're accessing via the Wi-Fi, or if it's a mobile network, it's giving you performance statistics again in terms of whether it's 4G, 3G, 5G, etc. Yeah.
Absolutely. So remember the graph that we were seeing in the below sections of performance session, right? I mean, whoever named it very correctly, right? It's a lot of NFR that goes on really with respect to the functional. There's also a lot of NFR that's going on, and from your CPU to memory to battery, you can also see the Wi-Fi strength. So absolutely everything from your app tracking, it's not like tracking, but it's like what you were doing as a user on the app, the user journey to the health information to the network statistics is definitely available there. Yes, Sean, you're right.
I guess to everybody on the call, are there any further questions that we've missed? Because I'm mindful that some were placed in the chat and not all in the Q&A.
There was one, Sean, like who all can get access to the HeadSpin. So yeah, you need to contact Gaurav for the HeadSpin access. This is what my interpretation would be.
That's directed to me by the looks of it. So that's Shonda. Is that in terms of from a client perspective? Shonda, do you want to just call out what that's with respect to? You can always message me directly, and I can work with Gaurav to help address that. I'll respond to that. More about HeadSpin. Fine. Okay, that's fine. I will respond to Shonda's comment.
And there was one question from Wang about is there any tool to test the services spreading on distributed systems automatically? So yes, Wang, there is a tool like, I mean, our IBM platform, like the one which you showed, we just discussed about the automation capabilities, but there are many more capabilities, it would take some sessions with you explaining what our IBM platform does. So yeah, I mean, we have the capability, Wang, to do this and to help your ask.
Yeah, I'm also seeing some questions on how is HeadSpin different from other tools like Browser Stack, Perfecto. So let me take that, and I will point out to some of the key differences. I mean, first of all, we, as you have hopefully seen in the demo today, our purpose of testing is to perfect the end user experience and not just to get a pass or a fail on testing. So the deep insights, the machine learning insights that we are able to provide, that we believe are totally unique in the market, and we are able to provide those insights across application devices, networks, across the full stack, and also using real devices. We are present in more than 115 locations around the world. So if you really want to understand how to perfect the quality of your application from an end user experience perspective, using real devices in different locations and getting the very best of data science that HeadSpin has developed over a number of years, then that is the main differentiator. And that is why we have large enterprise customers that use us and keep on coming to us for solving more and more of the use cases as they keep on either developing new digital applications or as they start release more functionality. And we are seeing actually the use cases across not just in testing organization but across the entire DevOps spectrum. And effectively, because we are able to provide these data science insights, we are seeing the use cases in product teams, in engineering team, and in business functions, apart from testing as well. Because our insights can be used across the design, build, test, and deploy lifespan. Hope that answers that question.
That was a tough one, so thank you for taking it from me. Thank you, Gaurav.
One question from Ahsan Mughal. What are the main features of IBM Ignite? So, Sean, you want to quickly go for it?
Good one.
Sorry, Sayam, I was busy looking at the questions that were coming.
Yeah, it came in the chat.
In.
Yeah, it came in the chat, Sean. So, Ahsan Mughal is asking, what are the main features of our IBM Ignite platform?
So I mean, there are several features. It depends, I think, in terms of what is required from a customer. So there are different features in there with respect to requirement analysis, to be able to understand the ambiguity around the requirements, and that can be user journeys. It isn't just requirements, all the way through to defect prediction, defect prevention, defect analytics that you can feed back into a continuous DevSecOps pipeline. We have, as Simon said, with respect to the automation, so we have what we call a CTD, which is basically a combinatorial test design model that allows us to be able to look at the number of pathways that we need to test. And the whole concept is to basically have the maximum amount of coverage for the minimum number of test cases. So we have the ability to be able to ingest your existing test cases, look to deduplicate those, then you may not actually have full coverage for your requirements. So we then have the ability to model that and then automate that. So in essence, it's rationalize everything out, model it, then automate it. And then, of course, as I said, you've then got the ability to analyze and have the analytics. And of course, what we could also do is we can consume your existing defect data, because the more the AI consumes that data, the better it becomes at being able to predict the defects and where they will potentially appear in order to be able to drive defect prevention. Hopefully that gave a flavour, but if I can't see, sorry, who asked the question, but if it didn't and you want to know more, please connect and we can obviously do a more detailed demonstration around the platform, because obviously this is very much focused on, you know, our partnership with HeadSpin.
I also saw a great question from Sonali where she's mentioning how are we maintaining the VPN access to HeadSpin, and this is a real great question, because with the existing and maybe increasing work from home scenarios across the globe, there is VPN, there is Citrix, there's remote desktop connection, various means and flavors of it that we see with different clients at HeadSpin and at IBM. So you need not worry about the VPN access, Sonali. There are a lot of different ways how HeadSpin really caters to this VPN stuff with the devices. It could be on-prem, it could be the devices that you use, how we saw in the demo. Then there's also an option of whitelisting our IPs. So this is definitely a real-time scenario, and it's definitely taken care of because there's a lot of teams across the world who have similar situations. So need not worry, we have covered you on the VPN access part. There are questions with respect to access of HeadSpin and Ignite and cost of HeadSpin and Ignite. I've mentioned in the comments and the answer, but I would just reiterate, please reach out to Sean and Gaurav with respect to trial access or more information or pricing, please.
If it's easier, Gaurav, given the combined two, I'm happy that those come to me. And where necessary, if it's purely HeadSpin, I will push it back in your direction and do it that way, if that helps.
No, absolutely. Thank you, Sean, for volunteering on that. Absolutely agree.
So if we want to, certainly before we finish, if we want to put the contact details back up on screen, then people can make a note. And as I said, they can connect. And like I say, if they use myself as the initial point of contact, even if it's just a HeadSpin inquiry, I can then filter it through to Gaurav.
Yeah, so this is the details.
And I guess we've still got a little bit of time. So are there any further questions in the chat, Shruti? Was there anything further back up that we missed?
I answered all, Sean, at this point. So,
yeah, I think we have covered all of them in the Q&A section, and most of them, actually all of them, in the chat as well. Since it was it was too much of a to and fro. I'm just rechecking and double checking if in case we missed any of them. But looks like mostly we have answered all the questions actually, which is great.
Okay.
Okay, I found maybe one or two questions which are left from the chat. Do we need any plugin to generate the reports? No, you really don't need any plugin to generate report if it's from HeadSpin. Like you saw, we were generating the report very instantaneously as the testing started on the HeadSpin device. Sayom, with respect to Ignite, is there any need of a plugin to generate the reports that you were showing by any chance?
No. It's all integrated within the solution. So the report comes in build.
Amazing, amazing. I'll just give me a second. I'll see if we have missed any further. Can HeadSpin record execution video for future reference triage? Absolutely. So the videos and the logs that you are seeing are your logs basically, and they get saved on them. So in case you get another build the next day, or maybe after a week or after a month, and you want to understand why the app was behaving differently last time versus this time, you can definitely use it for your future reference or past reference, whichever way you may want it to. Sayom, just a quick check maybe with your pair of eyes. Can we? I think we have really covered everything from the chat.
No,
On that basis, then.
There is one
Sorry,
from
Sayom.
yeah. So can HeadSpin be deployed on-prem in case
Uh,
customer VPN can be avoided?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I was mentioning a little while earlier, we have on-prem deployment. We have what you may think of it as a cloud version of it, where you get access of the devices that we saw live during the demo. So we have a concept of P boxes where we actually deliver that box with the devices within, with SIM cards or whatever combination you may want, and it gets delivered on-prem. In case there are stricter VPN stuff. I can't go about taking client names because of NDAs, but we have done that in the past.
I think if there are no other questions in the chat, Gaurav, I was going to hand back to you if you wanted to add any closing comments.
Sorry, Sean, I just see one last question here. It says, how is it different from Selenium automation testing?
Wow. Sayom, you may
Yes.
go first, and then I'll go.
So
Right.
the basic difference is it's a the IBM automation solution is a scriptless automation solution. Okay, so with Selenium, everything you have to perform the scripting. Whereas as you saw today in this demo, a glimpse of it, wherein it's very easy. You can just use the Jerkin type language constructs the automation script, and off you go. So that's one of the striking features. It's very easy to use. The second is, we have actually like in Selenium, there are no such object capture plugins, right? Which you can use to get hold of the objects. So you have to use the different mechanisms to capture the objects of the in your automation script. But with our IBM platform, we have this intelligent object capture mechanism. Okay, so which captures the different objects of the different pages in the page which you want to use for your different automation actions. And thirdly, like Selenium is fitted for using it on web solutions, on web browsers, or on web platforms, whereas our solution, it's an overall end-to-end solution. Okay, it supports each and everything. I mean, on the different aspects of the from a technology point, it has a good integration capability. So these are some of the like basic striking features when it comes to comparing Selenium with our IQP. But of course, I'm more than happy if you can contact Sean, then we can take this question more in technical details as well.
I was just going to add as well. So there's one in the chat around RPA and robotic process automation. LJ has asked the question, and whilst obviously we can do this, IBM has separate capabilities specifically in RPA. So outside of what we're discussing here. So if there is a follow-up that's needed, please reach out.
And with respect to HeadSpin, like I was mentioning earlier, it doesn't matter if you're using a Selenium, Appium, Robot framework, or a Flutter, or if it's IBM Ignite. We just like to gel well with each of them, and I think we rock with IBM Ignite, if I were to say, because I think it really opened my mind. It's so silly and it's so naive that while we're doing this on the runtime, I realize it makes so much more sense, right, to have this lethal combination and partnership of low code and no code with AI ML stuff that we've got into picture. And it's really not dependent on a Selenium or an Appium or these stuff anymore. So 10 years back, when I started my journey as automation, we focused on open source, and I understand we still do, but there's so much more to do with the kind of applications that are coming out in the market, right? So I think as a tester, if I wear my tester hat, it's always good to be open to all the options and all the platforms that we can cater to. Sean, I see there's so much going in your head and eyes. Would you want to add?
No, I think you summarized it perfectly, Rita. So I'm mindful that we're also almost out of time. So Gaurav, did you have anything that you wanted to just say as a closing comment?
No, I mean, firstly, I mean, thanks to all the participants for taking the time out of your busy diaries, and thank you to Sean, to Sayom, and to Shruti. It's a real honor and pleasure to run this webinar. We will be sending out the recordings of this session and the slideware. And please feel free to contact Sean and I as needed, and really look forward to continuing this discussion and hopefully working with you all. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Gaurav. I'd just like to echo that personally. Shruti, Sayom, thank you so much for your input, your insight, and working so well together. It's great to see the partnership really shaping up with the two of you, and of course to everybody who participated. I hope you found the session informative, useful, and of course feel free to reach out, as Gaurav has said, to myself initially, and Gaurav, I'll then redirect the traffic in your direction.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you everybody.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.